Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Puya, and you've stumbled upon the best place for hidden mysteries. Stick around, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into today's awesome video. Three of the biggest killers in the world. Jeffrey Dahmer. Jeffrey Dahmer was an American serial killer, known for his gruesome crimes and scandalous history in the criminal world. Dahmer was born on May 21, 1960, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. He grew up in a pretty normal family, but started showing signs of psychological issues from a young age. As a teenager, he was really into dissecting dead animals. His first murder was in 1978 when he was just 18. He killed a teenager named Stephen Hicks. After that, he took a little break, but by the 80s, he started killing regularly. Dahmer mostly targeted young men and teenagers. He'd lure them to his apartment, kill them, and then dismember their bodies. He even kept some body parts and was known to consume them. In 1991, he got caught when one of his potential victims escaped and went to the police. When cops raided Dahmer's apartment, they found tons of evidence of his crimes. He eventually confessed to 17 murders. In 1992, Dahmer was sentenced to 15 life terms without the possibility of parole. While in prison, his mental state was unstable and his behavior was erratic. Finally, on November 28, 1994, he was killed by a fellow inmate. Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy, the famous serial killer, was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. His childhood started with a big lie. He was known as an illegitimate child, and to protect the family's reputation, Ted was told that his grandparents were his parents and his real mother, Louise, was his sister. This family secret had a profound effect on Bundy's psyche. While studying at the University of Washington, Bundy initially chose psychology and met a girl named Stephanie Brooks. This relationship was very important to Bundy, but when Stephanie left him, Ted was emotionally shocked. This incident was a significant factor behind Bundy's complex and mysterious personality. Ted Bundy had an attractive appearance and charismatic behavior, which made him popular in society. He not only studied at university but was also active in Republican political campaigns. During that time, Bundy appeared to be an exemplary citizen, but behind this facade was a complex and sick mind. In the years before his first murder, Bundy escaped the police on multiple occasions. His skill in changing identities and deceiving security officials allowed him to live in the shadows for a long time. He even worked as a counselor at a crisis center, using his communication skills to help others, which also showed the terrifying duality of his personality. Bundy's early attacks showed a specific pattern. He often targeted women with long hair parted in the middle, resembling Stephanie Brooks. This indicated the profound impact of his emotional breakdown, leading to his horrific crimes. Familiarizing the public with these details of Bundy's life before the murders highlights the path from an ordinary person to a complex and terrifying serial killer. Ted Bundy committed his first murder on January 4, 1974. His victim was Joni Lenz, who had just moved into the ground floor of a dorm at Washington College. That night, Ted snuck into the dorm and went to Joni's room. He smashed her skull with a baseball bat and then brutally beat her. Ted didn't clean up after his crime and left Joni there. The next morning, Joni was found in a strange position in her bed, with a broken skull, bruises, and heavy bleeding. Despite her severe injuries, Joni amazingly survived, but she lost her memory and ability to speak forever because of the trauma. This incident marked the beginning of one of the scariest crime sprees in American history and opened a chilling chapter in Ted Bundy's story. So, finally in 1978, Bundy got busted at this tiny police station in Florida. He just stood there, all cool and collected, answering for his brutal crimes. His trial was crazy intense, filled with dread. Victims' and witnesses' testimonies painted this super dark and terrifying picture of his crimes, leaving everyone in shock and horror. When the trial wrapped up and the verdict was read, Ted Bundy got sentenced to the electric chair. On the day of his execution, as the judges waited for it to go down, Bundy stared back at them with this cold, empty look. When they flipped the switch, a terrifying noise came from the chair, and Bundy's face lit up with these eerie yellow sparks, adding to the crazy atmosphere. With Bundy's death, his nightmare ended, but the fear and horror from his crimes stuck with everyone forever. People never slept the same at night, always haunted by the victim's chilling warnings and memories of the monster with a human face and a ruthless ear. Jack the Ripper. Jack the Ripper, one of the most mysterious and thrilling figures in London's crime history, has fascinated folks for years. In the late 19th century, London's Whitechapel neighborhood turned into a scene of wild chaos and scary crimes. But Jack the Ripper's crimes stood out. In 1888, over just a few months, 5 women were brutally murdered. The horror kicked off with the killing of Mary and Nichols on August 31st, 1888. This started a chain of insanely violent murders that scared London to its bones. What made Jack the Ripper really unique was his killing style. He'd slice up his victims with surgical precision, cutting up and removing organs. This crazy level of detail had folks thinking he had some mad surgical skills. Over the years, tons of studies and theories popped up trying to nail down who this creepy killer really was. Some think he was a doctor, butcher, or even a local cop. But with all the guesses and ideas floating around, no one has absolutely nailed down Jack the Ripper's true identity. One of the wildest parts of this whole saga is the letters supposedly sent by Jack himself. The most famous one, called the From Hell letter, even came with part of one victim's heart. Though lots of people doubt if these letters are legit, they sure do add a juicy twist to the story. Through the years, Jack the Ripper has inspired heaps of books, movies, and TV shows. Each one spins the tale with different angles and takes. This just goes to show that even after a century, Jack the Ripper can still totally captivate an audience. In the end, Jack the Ripper is a symbol of endless fear and horror that can creep into any society. Even though we don't know who he really was, he's become a legend, a bone-chilling reminder that sometimes the truth is scarier than any story.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content. Drop a comment below with your thoughts and share this with friends if you think they'll love it. Catch you in the next one. Stay awesome.